Alright guys, thanks for coming. Today we have the Cornerstone University Investment Club. I'm just going to quickly tell you how this came to be. This is actually our first meeting ever. We didn't have this anytime before. Started last semester. I wanted to start something out just to give people in the finance division a little bit more hands-on experience with some more finance related stuff. So then we started this, and here, I'll just introduce myself really quick. I'm Alan Luchtenberg. I'm going to be the vice president. This is Dylan. He's going to be the president, and this is Professor Kellner. He is the faculty advisor. Basically, I'm going to explain to you how this club works, because it's a little bit confusing at first. But the best way to visualize it is two spheres. So one sphere is going to be discussion and social based, and the other one's going to be more student fun based. I'm more in charge of the discussion and social sphere, and he's more in charge of the student fun, and he'll talk more about that, and that's a little bit more complicated. But yeah. So, like I said, it's discussion based. So basically what this is, we haven't really set a regular time that we want to meet. I'm going to talk more about this later. We just want to see how we can work this around your guys' schedule. But yeah, discussion based. So what we do is, if we meet every week or every other week, we come together and we'll have a set topic to talk about, and that can be an investment topic, personal finance topic, or it can be some financial field that maybe a bunch of you might have an interest in, whether that's like financial advising. We'll have a meeting just for financial advising, just talk about that. But basically, it's not one of us giving a lecture. We'll kind of just lead it just to get it started, but the whole point of it is just to get a constructive conversation for everyone just to discuss, because usually it's kind of hard to get like a group of people where you can have these kind of discussions. And when you kind of have these conversations, you really grow. And I think this is a really, really good opportunity just for you to just grow. We're also planning to have some guest speakers for particular topics. I'm going to go to the different topics that we have planned, and I'm going to ask you guys what other plans that you guys might want to talk about. But yeah, so for this sphere, the discussion-based sphere, there is no requirement that you have to be here. You kind of just come to which topics you want to talk, which you want to attend, because there's not really much, how to say it, like, you don't really need to commit that much. It's just nicer if you're there. But we don't want you to miss out on any of them, of course, because we're here to grow together, you know. And the regularity options I'm going to talk about later, because we need to figure out what the structure is, because this meeting is not just us telling you what the club's about, but we also want some feedback, and this is just a good time for us to figure that out. So these are just some scheduled topics that I thought off the top of my head: tax optimization, protection, life insurance, preparing for retirement, time value of money, inflation, emergency fund. The list goes on, all sorts of different things. So ideally, just for an example, one day we would come in and talk about tax optimization. They don't really teach you how tax works in school, and you're going to find that it's really important, because the government doesn't really spend your money very well. So it's nicer if you can keep that money for yourself, and it's a really good thing to know. But yeah, this is some of the things we have. So there's two. So for the structure and how to set that up, I wanted to see what your guys' thoughts were, and I have two proposed options. So what I wanted to do is, like, you saw in this last slide, I have these laid out, but this might not be what you guys are interested in, or there's some other ones that I don't have up here that you're interested in. It's not about me, it's about what you guys want to learn. So, to make that happen, I have two different options. So one is, I can send out a list to all of you guys and see and just you'll see later, but I'm gonna ask you guys what topics you're interested in, and then I'm gonna have those all on a form, and then you guys can vote on which ones that you think would really benefit you. And based on a popularity vote, I could just set up a schedule for the whole year. Another option is, so what we would do is, we would have a meeting in 1 week, and then in that same week, I would send out an email and see, do we want to talk about this topic again the next week? Do we want a new topic? If so, which topic? And if we were to have a guest speaker, like if the meetings are only 1 hour, they'd come and speak for an hour, and then the next week, then we can come back and just kind of discuss what whatever expert came in and just do all that kind of stuff. So I guess, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you guys prefer just one time, just send out one survey and just see what everyone wants, or would you rather have it on a week-to-week basis and just to determine the next one?
I think the first one would probably be better if we tried to like line up guest speakers. Like
That's
pick
true.
a speaker for a week and like plan out in advance, because I know like last minute scheduling for those types of people might be like time crunch.
That's a really good point. Any other opinions? That's a really solid point. I think that probably are going to be our go-to.
I think also one more thought on that. If we do it based off of what the interest level is, that could cause a lot of people to come in the beginning and less throughout the year. So I don't know if maybe there's a better way to format it than doing it like rank based, in order to make sure people want to come more than just at the very beginning. You know?
Yeah, that was a good point, because retention is going to be pretty important, because you can't have a discussion only with a few people. We want to have as much people, and this whole club, at least for the discussion base, it isn't limited to just finance or business students. This is financial literacy, and you'll find that financial literacy is so important to life, because when you understand how money works, your life just becomes a lot easier than always be like, why is everything working against me? And that's why I want to encourage you guys to also bring in some of your other friends that just like, because I know some people, they're like, I wish I would have learned some of this stuff, and like, I don't know where to go. So this is just like a really good opportunity, and you don't have to know anything about it, but if you just come, you don't even have to say anything, but if you just listen, you could really learn a lot just by at least listening to other people and just asking questions and just adding value to the discussion.